If you're learning AWS, I need to tell you something that might sound a little harsh at first. Reading the AWS documentation is not enough. Watching tutorials is not enough. Even passing an AWS certification is not enough. AWS only truly clicks when you practice. In this video, I'm going to show you the best free platforms where you can practice AWS hands-on, some paid platforms if you want more structure, and why. Practice absolutely does not stop after you get certified. If you want AWS skills that actually work in the real world, this video is for you. First, let's talk about why practice matters so much more than just reading. A lot of beginners fall into this trap. They read, they watch tutorials, and they try to memorize everything. But AWS isn't theoretical knowledge. AWS is about clicking around, breaking things, fixing your mistakes, and cleaning up your resources. Until you actually do that yourself, AWS is going to feel confusing and overwhelming. Practice is what turns AWS from something scary into something normal. So let's start with the free options, because you do not need money to start learning AWS the right way. First up is AWS Skill Builder. This is one of the best places for any beginner. AWS Skill Builder gives you guided, hands-on labs inside a sandbox AWS environment. This means there is absolutely no risk to your personal billing. You get to practice with real AWS services without ever touching your own AWS account. This is perfect. If you're new, you're scared of getting unexpected charges, or you just want some structured learning, this should be your first stop. Next is the AWS free tier. Now, this is the real deal. It's not a simulation. It's not a sandbox. You create your own AWS account and you practice directly in the AWS console. The advantage here is huge. You learn responsibility, you start to understand billing, and you gain real-world experience. But here's the truth. The AWS free tier is not unlimited. You have to monitor your usage, delete resources after you finish a lab, and check your billing regularly. This process itself teaches you how AWS works in real life, which is a valuable skill. Third, we have AWS workshops. These are official labs created by AWS engineers themselves. They are completely free, step-by-step, and incredibly practical. You can follow guided labs for core services like EC2, S3, EM, VPC, and even serverless technologies. Some of these workshops do use your own AWS account, so just like with the free tier, cleanup is super important. Then there are the well-architected labs. These labs focus on real-world AWS architecture. They teach you about best practices, security, reliability, and cost awareness. They're also free and become incredibly useful once you've got the basics down. This is where using AWS starts to feel truly professional. Now, let's quickly talk about some paid platforms. These are completely optional. You do not need them to succeed, but they can definitely help if you like a more structured learning path. Platforms like a Cloud Guru and Cloud Academy offer structured paths, hands-on labs, and temporary AWS environments so you don't have to worry about billing or cleanup. They're great if you want that all-in-one guided experience. There's also a local option called Local Stack, which lets you run AWS services on your own computer. This is great for offline practice and testing without any billing concerns. However, it's not the full AWS experience, so it's best used after you already understand the basics, not as a starting point. This next part is really important. Why must you continue practicing even after getting certified? So many people think, I passed my AWS certification, I'm done. That is not how AWS works. Certifications test your knowledge, but jobs require skill. If you stop practicing, you forget what you learned, you lose confidence, and you'll struggle in interviews. Real AWS engineers are constantly practicing because AWS is always changing. New services are released, and skills fade without use. Practice keeps your knowledge fresh and ready for the real world. So here's a simple learning path that works for most people. Start with AWS Skill Builder. Then move to the AWS free tier. Use the AWS workshops to deepen your knowledge. After that, go for your certifications. And once you're certified, keep building small projects, redo labs, and experiment safely. This is how using AWS becomes second nature. The final takeaway is this. You don't learn AWS just by reading. You don't learn it just by getting certificates. You learn AWS by practicing, by breaking things, fixing them, and repeating the process. And the best news is, You can start all of this for free today. If this video helped you figure out where to practice AWS hands-on, please give it a like. And if you want AWS explained simply, without all the stress and confusion, be sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments, where are you currently practicing AWS? Thanks for watching.